to promote and all of that stuff. So I did that. And I was also taking on the task of homeschool. So I kind of put it off for the summer. My son's last day in school was also in March. His school closed. We didn't know when that was going to open back up. And to be honest with you, I was paying for it, so I was okay with not paying for it anymore. Uh, that was like the first. This was the first period in 3 years that I haven't had to pay for daycare, and I was just really happy with that not being the case. So, he was home, which has its own challenges because he's the only child. And even if he wasn't an only child, children at home is a lot of work. It's a job in itself. So I had that going on. And I remember there being so many times where I just really I wasn't really sure if I made the right choice. And I'd heard this before from people saying, I'm over here looking at job applications just like you. I'm over here searching, and that was also me. That was me. I was like, let me brush up this resume. I got my resume done by a friend. I was on LinkedIn heavy. Like, I was probably on LinkedIn more than Instagram at one point in time because I was like, I need to find another job. I want to do something virtual, so that I can stay home because I just don't want to go back to my job. Like, I just really needed something to be steady. And it was even to the point where I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and I was just a couple of my friends, and I was telling them, I'm scared. I'm scared. And I'm fortunate. I always give the disclaimer that I am fortunate to be home with my family. There are a lot of things I don't have to worry about financially. Um, but I also don't want to be a burden. I want to be able to support myself and my son. I want to be able to have my own things in the future. I felt like I was going to be taking a huge hit in terms of income because I don't have this steady paycheck coming in anymore. And so I was just really worried. I was like, what's going to happen when unemployment runs out? What's going to happen whenever they finally decide to open back up? And I was just like really dreading that day. Every time I got a phone call, I was like, I really hope that this is not my job because I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready. So I let was coming from. And I was just so worried because I was still frustrated. I was like, God, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. And I don't know how I'm going to ever make a profit or have a sustainable business. I don't know how anything that I'm doing is going to make money if I don't know what I'm doing. I was still having such a hard time conceptualizing what it all looked like. And the thing that's so crazy is that I had so many ideas for things to do. Like, there were so many ways to make money. Like, it wasn't there I wasn't short on ideas. They just all None of them felt like the right choice. They didn't feel like what I've been working towards this whole time, what I've been working through. So I was in that place, and at this point I had was it was really good, a good feeling going into December. And then December rolls around, and I told you guys in October I was already panicking because I was like, funds are low, they are limited. Um, and then December comes around, and it's like, I don't know what's going to happen in January. I don't know what's going to happen in January. And I was a little embarrassed, to be honest with you, because it was like, I really wanted to have something um to show for myself, like to show that I didn't feel like I was a real entrepreneur. I felt like my business wasn't real. I was like, what are you going to do? Like at this point, you might as well just like hang it up, get a job. You tried and you failed. So there's nothing left for you here. Just go ahead and, call it quits. Uh, and so I was really, really worried in December, beginning of December. And I was on this prayer call. And in this prayer call, this is around the time where, Clubhouse was popping. I guess it still is. I don't be on there anymore. For real, I don't have a lot of patience for it right now. But yeah, so this is when Clubhouse was like really the thing. I was on Clubhouse more than anything else. Like I lived Clubhouse. So I was on there for a prayer call. And during this prayer call, we were told to pray for very specific things. And we had to pray for things that scared us because, and I can't remember the words exactly, but I do remember I do remember him mentioning that there were things that God wanted to give us, but we had to ask for them. And one of those things that I asked for a very specific amount of money. Okay. And this number scared me so much, so much. And I'm not sure if I want to share it yet. I may, well, you know what? Might as well. We're here. So I prayed for $10,000. $10,000. And I was like, okay, this is the number. This isn't a number I pulled out of my head, y'all. Like this is a number that God told me to pray for. Okay. Like it's not me, being transactional with him and treating him like a ATM. Like this is what he told me to pray for. And this is what I was supposed to demonstrate my faith. This is how I was going to demonstrate my faith. So I wrote the number down. I prayed for it. And it's actually in my phone too. That's something I should bring up. It was in my phone. So I prayed for this number. And I prayed for that, and I prayed for other things as well. But I remember that number specifically since we're talking about money right now. So I prayed for that. I prayed for $10,000, and I was just like, I just kept doing what I was supposed to do. One of the things that I was told that I had to do during that time was to be visible. So I was showing up on Clubhouse, hosting rooms, going live, accepting invitations to be on podcasts. Like I had to be visible. That was what I was told to do. And so that's what I did. And I believe that it was December 27th, 28th. And funds are still dwindling. Nothing changed in my bank account. Nothing changed. And so I was kind of like at this point where I was like about to break down because I was just so disappointed. I was like, man, I just can't believe that this is how I'm going out. I was just really disappointed. And so I randomly checked my bank account because I think that something was supposed to come out at a certain time. So I was like, well, and look on here just for fun. I know what's in there already. And I looked, and there was the amount that I prayed for plus more. Plus more. I could cry right now thinking about it because I was so, I just never felt like it was possible. I never felt like it was possible. Um, it showed like the my it showed my faith and how I was struggling in it for sure. But up until that point, that was like, wow, this is something, you really are a provider. And it was enough for me to be like, okay, I can keep going. I can keep doing this. Um and I found the amount. So let me see if I can get it clear. So you guys see that? December, $10,000, and I put delivered from poverty mindset. I was I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And there were some things that I had to do in order to demonstrate my faith. Like I said, first thing was to type it down, to pray for it. I had to put down what I needed the money for, which I did. And it was so funny. It was like I was like budgeting by faith because I was out here planning for money that I had no clue where it was coming from. And there was a part of me that was scared because I was like, well, is this gonna be taken away from me later? You know what I mean? Like, is this a mistake? Is this wrong? Um, and then there was just something in me, not something, it was the Holy Spirit that was like, no, stop thinking like that. This is the moment. You've prayed for this, you've asked about this, and you have to be delivered from that idea of that poverty mindset, like I had written down, that idea of lack, that idea that you being my daughter. Actually, let me rewind. Getting it into my head, into my heart, that by me being his daughter, that he is always going to provide, that I have everything that I need, even when it comes to the monetary things, because I could pray for healing in something, or I could pray for other people, but this was one of those things where I was having a hard time with the trust in that. And it happened. It happened. And I was excited for the day that I was going to be able to share it. And there was a part of me, I wanted to share it when it happened. But then there was also a part of me that was like, nah, what if it goes away? I was still struggling. I was still struggling. It's a process, guys. It's a process. But yeah, I I was so grateful. And that was the first that was 2020, not my 2020 experience. You get the reference to Justin Timberlake, even though I know he's supposed to be canceled, but that was a pretty dope album. Anyway, that was my 2020 experience as an entrepreneur. And how long have you been full time? Uh, and there's one more question that I want to ask you guys, but I don't want to ask too many things at once. So, huh, sit on that. I'll sit on that. But right now, I do want to know: are you a full time entrepreneur? And if you are, how long have you been full time? And if you're not, do you plan on being full time? Whether you do or not, There's no good or bad choice. It's just whatever direction we are led to go in, right? But let me know in the comments, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.